Hello everybody, this is Truckbuster. This is the overflow bottle on that F-250 that I bought. And if you look in here, I don't know how well you can see, but that is water with a little bit of green coolant and dirt. And I'm going to talk more on this, but don't let dirt get into your cooling system. And please, if you put water in your coolant system, flush it out as soon as you can. The idiot who owned this before me did not know that, and he looks like he just put straight tap water into it. So yeah, that's great. See, there you go. Now you can see the bottom a little better. But yeah, that's straight water with a little bit of coolant and dirt in the bottom of this overflow tank. So I'm going to flush the entire radiator system, which I was planning on doing anyways, but now I really need to do it. So yeah. Okay, so now that I've got the coolant overflow bottle cleaned out a little bit, I'm feeling a little bit better and a little less angry. So I'm thinking a little clearer. So I'm going to explain to you why it is so bad to put just straight water into your engine. And I'm going to explain to you what to do if you run out of coolant in your car or your truck. So, straight tap water has minerals and other deposits in it that are bigger than the other water molecules, and it's bigger than what this system is designed to take inside of it. And so those can go and they can build up and they can plug little holes, kind of like, you know, the hard water stains you see on your bottle or on like your drinking glass. Yeah, it's like that, you know, the stuff you can see in the bottom of it. Yeah. If you live in a place with filtered water, okay, lucky you. It doesn't taste as good, but you know. But yeah, so those deposits, even if you have filtered water, will go and they can plug up little holes in the system and make it so that your car can, at worst case scenario, overheat. At best they won't do anything, but like it's not good to take that chance. It can cause your engine to wear out prematurely, and it can cause you to overheat, as I already said. So don't put tap water in your coolant. Okay, now I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I'm going to tell you when it is okay to put water in your coolant. But first I'm going to explain to you what coolant is. So coolant is made up of three parts, really. So it's made out of distilled water, which is not tap water. It's been filtered. There are no minerals. There are no deposits in it. It is just H2O. That's why we use distilled water, is because there's nothing that can grow. It doesn't carry anything. The second part that it is antifreeze. And antifreeze raises the boiling point and lowers the freezing point. So it gives you a wider spectrum that your coolant can work at, which is really good. It also lubricates a little bit, that's nice, and it also prevents corrosion, so which is really nice. That's another reason why you don't want to just run straight water in your coolant, is because it's going to corrode. Okay, so another thing that is in your coolant, the third thing, is supplemental coolant additives. And these things are things that are put in the coolant to give it specific properties. So I'm not going to go through all of them because there are so many of them. But I'll go through a couple of them. So for diesel engines cavitate. Cavitation is basically the water hammer effect of little bubbles that form from vibrations of the engine against the cylinders. And they'll go in and they'll put little pock marks in the cylinders, and eventually they'll knock big enough holes into it that they can breach the cylinder liners. And then you start dumping coolant, or you start dumping compression into your coolant, either one. And so that's not good, because you've got a hole in your cylinder, so your engine is going to die very quickly, and while it's dying, it's not going to be happy. So we put nitrite in coolant to do that. We put other stuff. We put nitrate, not nitrite. Nitrite has an I in it. Nitrate has an A in it. Nitrate is for protecting the steel and iron from corrosion. And there's a whole bunch of other things. We put stuff in there to protect the copper. We put stuff in there to protect the aluminum in there. So that's why these supplemental coolant additives are SCAs. I can't spell. That's why we put these supplemental coolant additives in there. And so you want your distilled water to antifreeze and supplemental coolant additives ratio to be 1 water and 1 antifreeze. Okay? And why is that? Because it's kind of the best blend. It's really good for cooling, and it's really good for protecting your engine. And so now that I've told you a little bit about coolant, I know that was kind of a long lesson. There's a lot of words in there that probably don't mean anything. I'm going to tell you when it is okay to put water in your engine and what other options you might have before you get that desperate. So, if you are in the middle of, let's say, Moab, and you get a hole in your radiator, okay, you're leaking coolant on the ground, please put water into your engine. Save your engine. Because if that engine overheats, you're going to be dealing with all sorts of other damage. But if you put water in your engine, as soon as you can, get that water out, flush it out with coolant. Because you're going to start having things grow in there. You're going to start having these little deposits form. And so you want to get that water out of there as soon as you can. But in a pinch, if you have to run it like that for a day or two, okay. That is a good time to put water in your engine. And I hate saying that because you shouldn't put water in your engine. But if you have to, only leave it in there for a couple of days. Other things that you can put into your coolant that are not water if you have a leak, you can put ATF into there. I know that sounds kind of wrong because it's transmission fluid, but you can put ATF into your coolant. If you have a hole in your radiator, have a leaking line or something, you can put ATF into there. It's expensive, but it is better than water. Only a little bit though, because it's still not coolant. But yeah, so you can put that in there. And also, another thing when you add water to your engine is you're raising that 50-50 ratio, that 1-to-1 ratio of the water and coolant. It's going to become more water and less actual antifreeze. So that's another thing. So yeah, so you can put ATF into there. You can put a lot of things into there. Pretty much as long as it's a liquid and it doesn't boil fast, you can put it into there if you really need to. You don't want to put like Kool-Aid in there because that turns into syrup. Would not recommend it, but yeah. So you can put water in there, you can put ATF into there. And yeah, so, and as soon as you do that though, you have to flush out the system as soon as possible. Oh yeah, and one more thing, if you happen to have a parts store nearby when you get this hole in your radiator, and you're like, oh, I've got a parts store nearby, I can put coolant in there to replace the leaking coolant. That's really good, okay? Especially if it's a slow leak. If it's a fast leak, I actually recommend putting water in it because it's cheaper. I hate saying that too. I hate saying, oh, put water in your coolant. No. Whenever you put water in your coolant, flush it out as soon as you can. So if you've got a fast leak, don't waste money on coolant, just put water in there. If you've got a slow leak though, one that like you can fix relatively easily, if it's just a leaking hose, and you just need to top off your coolant, put the same kind of coolant into your engine that's already in there. Do not mix the coolant. Why? Because these little supplemental coolant additives, sometimes they don't like each other. Sometimes they fight and then they like go and wear each other out. And if they wear each other out, then they don't work to protect your engine. And sometimes, in very rare cases, it does not happen very often. You can pour one type of coolant and another type of coolant into the same engine, and you get this weird, like, kind of like sticky jello stuff, like sludgy. It does not happen very often. It's only a specific kind of coolant, and I'm not sure which kind of coolant that do it when you mix them together. But you should put the same kind of coolant that is already in your engine if you have a leak. Because then it'll stay balanced, it'll be happy, it'll be its own little ecosystem, and you won't be putting something new in there that it has to figure out what to do with. Alright, so there you go, there's a little spiel on coolant. I was just really angry that there was water in my overflow bottle. And so you got this video. Thanks guys for watching.